Thank you, Yalvia and Pedro. It's been great to work with cmBuilder over the last 4 years. I was just going to talk a little about who we are and how we integrate cmBuilder into what we do. So just a little bit about us. 44 Projects. We're a Brisbane-based commercial builder and consultancy company. So yeah, two sides. We've got the consultancy side and the building side. As part of the consulting, we do design management, project management, planning, programming, superintendent work. We work with body corporates and we support builders or developers in tenders as well. On the building side, we've got a few live projects at the moment in the residential space, retail and commercial space as well. Who we work with, so quite a variety of people. Developers, builders, government agencies. We work quite a lot, on the upcoming Olympics in Brisbane, hospitals, those type of projects, body corporates, and other various departments as well. A little bit about our background. So we've got a few key people in the organisation. All of us are from a Tier 1 builder background. That's our experience. We've obviously, with that, we've worked on some numerous large projects, and the people that have obviously supported our careers have given us the tools to carry that on and use some cool tools like cmBuilder. I did a little bit of a stint in the UK as well, and that really, I suppose, gave me an appreciation for how programming and planning can really be used in an urban setting as well. So when we first started the company 4 or so years ago, we were looking for a platform that could, I suppose, combine the 2D drawings and the programs that we used. The back of a napkin sketch sometimes on where concrete pumps or cranes would go, and combine that in the 3D and 4D environment. We wanted, for our business, we wanted something that was easy to use. We weren't a group of, CAD experts, BIM experts. We needed something that was easy to use and people could pick up relatively quickly as well. And for us, the value in it is early stakeholder engagement. So, so many times you can turn up to a meeting with 10, 15 people and 2 people might walk out of the room knowing what was actually mentioned or had any idea, but being able to bring it into that 4D environment and get real engagement and real conversations going there and then was what we were looking for. Just a little bit of a video of one of our projects which you'll see later, but it's there for reference. So the outcome, over the last 4 years we've tested a few different products including cmBuilder. We really like cmBuilder. But just a couple of images there. We've got sort of hospitals, large multi-stage residential buildings, resi and urban environments. We've got sporting projects, and also just simple illustrations for body corporates where, while it's a small job, it's going to impact 130 people in their daily lives, and being able to communicate how you're going to go about, repairing or restoring their building and having their input is valuable, right? And it means something to them. Along the way, we've sort of been met with a little bit of scepticism around, working with site teams and rolling this out. But one of the moments that I remember is working with an old school site manager who, he was pen and paper. He was still drawing programs in pencil and doing methodologies, and he had his eraser and sharpener and everything. We sat in a meeting. I spent an hour explaining and showing him cmBuilder and all sorts of stuff. And he just sat back and he said, "You've just saved me like 2 weeks in this tender process where I'd be trawling through drawings trying to understand all of this." And that for me was just great, because you got rid of all of that pre-work and you could get straight into the real meaningful conversations on how you're going to build it and how you're going to build it successfully, really. The next few slides is just a little bit around our consulting side. So just around aligning clients, consultants, contractors, and other stakeholders. The the picture there of the Globemaster, I'm not sure if anyone knows, but we have an event in Brisbane, the Riverfire, where they fly jets and planes all through the city. It's pretty cool if you ever get the opportunity to go up there. But what it all reminds me of is all the constraints that we have building in an urban environment and where they can come from. So they can come from, you know, above, below us, adjacent to us, and also within the project as well. And being able to communicate some of those, or even early identification of those, is really, really powerful. So just a few examples of how we've used it. Up on the screen is a project on the Gold Coast. If anyone knows the Gold Coast, Surfers Paradise is up the top, and the developers have been building their way all the way down to the airport. And what they've come across is, you know, the airport has got a whole lot of rules and regulations around building height, and they talk around, you know, OLSs and VLSs and GPS coordinates and all sorts of stuff, which sometimes gets lost on builders. So the developer and builder asked us to sort of work with the government department and them. The clever architect obviously drew the building to the maximum height and forgot that you need to put cranes and all sorts of stuff up there to build it. But yeah, we worked with the aviation guys, worked out what their constraints are, and worked out then how the construction methodology can work with their requirements. Now, it's certainly not a conventional build by any stretch, but it was pretty cool to see those two groups come together and work out a way to move forward on this project. I think the site had changed hands like 14 times previously because they probably worked out that it was hard to build. But yeah, hopefully this one gets up. So below, obviously some of the constraints you get, you know, protected vegetation, root zones, contamination, remediation, underground services, existing structures, all sorts of stuff, right? And also staged excavations and methodologies. The image on the left there is actually one of our projects. And with this one, particularly with the excavation, it's quite tricky down the side of a hill. And we were able to really reduce time and cost explaining this in 3D and 4D on how you could create piling platforms and batters in a more economical way to get a better result. And the one on the right is a multi-stage residential building, just obviously where we've showed the excavation sequence, access and egress requirements, and then how you can sort of fast track then concrete pours in the next stages. So adjacent, this one was a pretty cool project. This is one in Melbourne. We got to work with the team there, and they sort of reached out to us because this project has got constraints everywhere, right? It's got main roads either side, it's got heritage buildings, it's got low-lying buildings, it's got high-rises next to it, and they also designed, you know, it's a two-stage building with a common podium, and they wanted to build one side quicker than the other, so they had constraints everywhere, right? And it was really cool to be able to plot this out and how they were going to deal with those constraints. One of them was the tower crane couldn't even weather vane, so just drawing up their lock-off procedure, how they were going to lock the crane off every night, how they were going to protect, you know, workers below in their offices while they constructed these buildings. And then we sort of worked with them during delivery and updated the model as they, you know, got new information as well. This was one of our first projects in cmBuilder, so give me a little bit of breather for the quality. The one on the right is done in Revit. We're just sort of playing with the two different softwares there. But obviously like cmBuilder better. Within, so these two projects, massive constraints just within the site. One of them is building a tower next to an existing retail. You had to chop out some of those buildings, you had to build it across some of those buildings, you had to dig underneath those buildings, and the one on the right is a sporting project in Brisbane, and obviously to be able to explain to the stakeholders and their events how the construction and maintaining their events during the year was really important in their process to get moving on that project. This one I call the Works Everywhere. This was a pretty cool project. I actually worked on the business case on this one with the government. It's a live hospital. The plan was always to build on top, but yeah, you know, it had helicopters coming in from above. It had a live emergency department below. It had ambulances coming in around, surgeons coming in, wanting to come in below, 2 main roads either side, a live hospital adjacent. It sort of had everything, right? And for me, one of the moments on this project was, doing this in 3D, understanding it all was pretty cool, but then having the conversations with the users of the emergency department below, and when you're going through different options on how you can build it, and they come back to you in terms of, well, the difference in mortality rate between the different options, it really hits home as to how important these things can be. So this is just a little bit on our building side and how we're using it. So this is a project in Margate, and we've used it throughout the whole phase. So before we even had a design, we were doing the massing tool, starting to identify some of the constraints there, and then that allowed us early engagement with authorities and the designers, and really integrating our construction planning into that design all the way along. And then this one here, this is another one of our projects in Brisbane, and this is just, I suppose, something that we were exploring. We did all the construction logistics and planning in cmBuilder, but we've just generated a bit of a AI video from that, just sort of testing out how it can be used. Obviously pretty excited about cmBuilder's AI capabilities as well, and seeing where that goes over the next few months as well. But yeah, I'll just let that play a little bit, and if there's any questions, let us know.